Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. I'm Adrian, and today we are playing Rakdos Burning Hand, because we are going to burn our opponent's hand, or at least that is the objective of the deck. I think we're actually going to keep this hand. I think it's actually pretty good. We got Temple Bell, we got Ghost Quarter, depending on what we're playing against, which I don't know yet, and we got Hangarback Walkers. Lots and lots of Hangarback Walkers. Hangarback Walkers for days. Let's just place some mine. Mine, I say... Yes, oh, it is a mine. Ooh, interesting. Whatever. And we're going to pass the turn to our opponent, because we don't really have anything specific. We're going to pop this at the end of our opponent's turn, just to, best practice, even though we generally, in this deck, we don't really have any purpose for having this at any time in the early morning of the deck. Robot Talk. It's late at night, don't worry. Okay, so we are playing against a Simic tokens deck, I'm guessing? Of some sort? Or some kind of Simic deck. Reveal top card of your library. If it's a land, you may play it. Interesting. I've never seen that before. End step. Let's pop this guy. And we will get ourselves... And we are going to grab ourselves a Blood Crypt, because why not? And no, we are not going to pay life to have it come into unplay untapped, because we don't really need that to happen. And what do we think? He is a 1-1, so let's also play a 1-1. We'll play Hangarback Walker for 1. If I had a Howling Mine, I would play that instead, but I don't have a Howling Mine, so we're not going to play Howling Mine. And we will just ship it to our opponent's turn. Obviously, I could have Bloodstained Mire and then got another Blood Crypt, but I'm not super interested in doing that. I don't know what we're playing against here. This is actually... Well, I guess I don't have enough information yet. I don't quite know what we're playing against. I'm not sure what to expect quite yet. I wonder if he's playing this just to try and get an extra land drop. That is possible. It's completely possible. He's playing another one. Interesting. And he is revealing... Show what he's revealing. He reveals a Birds of Paradise. Okay, well, that's totally fine by me. Is he going to attack? He does not attack because he knows I would get a token, which is fine by me. And we have a bolt. What do we think? We could Temple Bell, which is probably the best bet right now. Yeah, let's Temple Bell. And yeah, pass it to our opponent's turn. And at their end step, we will Temple Bell to get a little bit of card advantage. We're not going to attack with our Hangarback Walker. We'll let our opponent deal with us, because we're not really aiming to try and control the board state so much. If we draw Pyroplasm, we'll wipe these guys anyways. Oh, we're playing against an Eldritch Evolution deck. That makes much more sense now. Because why wouldn't you play a creature that's going to give you mana advantage plus stuff? Oh, really? So he's going to look at the top 4 cards of our library and exile one of them in a face-down pile. He may cast that card. Okay. That's interesting is the word I'd like to use. I'm not sure if our opponent's going to see Molten Psyche isn't going to really work out for him. And I wonder if you can cast alternative costs with this guy. And is he going to swing at this guy? Maybe, maybe not. He is not. We will draw some cards, and hopefully our opponent didn't draw a Rune Flare Trap. That'd be funny, but not very fun for us. We have Blood Crypt. We don't have enough mana to cast Molten Psyche yet, but we could play Howling Mine. Okay, I think we're gonna play Blood Crypt tapped, and then we're gonna play Howling Mine, and we're gonna pass it to our opponent's turn. If he decides to swing at this guy, we'll probably just bolt him, and if not, we will make Hangarback Walker bigger. I could play another Hangarback Walker, which is also a possibility. Filling up our opponent's hand, he might have an idea what our deck does at this point. He probably saw one of the cards that does stuff. I would imagine he would have seen one of the cards that does stuff and maybe put 2 and 2 together. Maybe also seeing that we have a Temple Bell and a Howling Mine in play, he might have put 2 and 2 together. So we'll see. Eldritch Evolution again. That's very curious. And so that means he's going to be grabbing a 6-drop, which means he could potentially be dropping... Do you exile? I knew exile Eldritch Evolution. So what did he grab? He grabbed a 3/7 flying hexproof. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, Creatures defending player controls get -1/-1 until end of turn. So yeah, so we are definitely going to be making our Hangarback Walker bigger. I just realized that if he does indeed attack with this thing and we have a bunch of Thopters in play, they're all going to die. But that's a thing. Yeah, anyways, we're going to go this way, and we will also Temple Bell so we can draw a card. Toil and Trouble, which is going to be good for us. And we will go to our turn. We will draw an extra card from the Temple, or from the Howling Mine. And we draw another Temple Bell. So our opponent has 7 cards in hand. We could Molten Psyche. Yeah, we're going to Molten Psyche right now. Because we'll do a bunch of damage to our opponent straight out of the gate. 7 damage out of that. If we draw a Rune Flare Trap, we'll do an additional 7, 8, 9, 10 damage at the beginning of his upkeep. Okay, so he's gonna ditch 1 card. So we'll do a bunch of extra damage at the beginning of his upkeep. Plus, we'll actually be able to pitch a land that we draw, because we have a very full hand right now. So, so we did draw a Rune Flare Trap. We also drew an Anger, which is not gonna stop this guy. Play Dragonskull, and I think we have our opponent at the beginning of his next turn. We'll pass it over, and we'll see if that is indeed what is about to happen. So we're not going to attack with our Hangarback Walker. We are going to go to our opponent's draw step. He draws from Howling Mine. I give him an extra card from Temple Bell, and then we Rune Flare Trap him for a single red, and then we are going to bolt his face. So we'll see what he does. He may try and pitch a couple cards. So we're not gonna Lightning Bolt until Rune Flare Trap resolves, just in case he manages to somehow pitch 2 cards out of his hand, which is completely possible. He may also have a counter in his hand, which would be less fun for us. And our opponent is gonna play a Chord of Calling out of his hand. What is he going to grab? I don't think it's gonna help him unless it's something that gains him a bunch of life. He's only Chord of Calling for 2, so... Oh, so he's gonna Chord of Calling a Scavenging Ooze. Interesting. So he's gonna eat... Is there many creatures? There's no creatures in my graveyard, and there's 2 in his graveyard. So we'll see... So he gains 2, and yeah, so we'll let Rune Flare Trap resolve, and then we'll bolt our opponent's face. And I'm guaranteeing that he probably doesn't have any response because he has an island he has an island/swamp. So there we go. We're gonna go to sideboard and see what our opponent decides to side in against us. We, on the other hand, are going to be siding in a little bit of removal because he is playing an Eldritch Evolution deck. Anger of the Gods can probably pull out. We don't really need it. We're playing against a deck that may be running blue, so we're gonna throw in a couple of those guys. But those guys got a response. They allowed us to counter blue spells. I'm really tempted to throw in some Crumble the Dusts. I don't think we actually need them, but they could be good. Pyroplasm, one of you can come out. I don't think I need both of you. Adamaro, I think you also can come out. As awesome as you are, I think you're actually going to be too slow against this deck. And Shrapnel Blast is against a creature or player, but he has a 7-drop. So that's not going to be that good for us. The only... I think Guttural Response, Doomblade, and I think that's what we're going to run it back as. Just Guttural Responses, Doomblades, pulling out a couple of less value stuff against this specific deck. Because we're seeing stuff that's really big come out so really quickly, and I don't think, unless we have a Pyroplasm in our opening hand, there's no point in having it in our deck. Going into game 2, our opponent is playing first, and what do we think of this opening hand? We do have a Guttural Response, which is nice, and we do have a bunch of... Yeah, let's keep this. Again, it's not the perfect opening hand. I mean, I don't really want Rune Flare Trap right now. Definitely don't want Molten Psyche right now. But, yeah, look at this. Birds O' Paradise. It's an old one. Not an old one. It's a weird one. It's like the MTGO special one. So, we'll see what we draw. Hopefully we'll draw into something good. Eidolon. Eidolon is good. Let's play Bloodstained Mire and pass it to our opponent's turn. Unfortunately, Eldritch Evolution is not blue. That would be pretty rad if it was, because then we would just be able to Guttural Response it in response to him playing it. But he may be playing those snake things, so this may not be a terrible idea. Wall of Roots. So mana acceleration for him. And I'm assuming we're just going to go to the end step now, and we will crack this guy and grab ourselves a Blood Crypt. Blood Crypt, there you go. I don't want to pay life for it. I would rather it come into play tapped. And Master of Feasts, yeah. Unfortunately, the current situation we're at, we don't have a... Oh, we do. We have Eidolon. Yeah. Heck yeah, we're playing Eidolon. I was like, I don't have a turn 2 play. Wait a second, I do have a turn 2 play. His name is Eidolon. Or its name, it's kind of like a fire elemental, I guess. What is it actual? It's a spirit. It is a spirit that burns your face when you play spells. So that may slow our opponent down a little bit. Because... reasons? That's... Our opponent just got his second land drop this turn? Huh. So our opponent's behind by 1 land, which is kind of rough. I'm not sure why you would have kept such a low land hand. I guess, I mean, I can understand, actually. I'm saying I don't understand, but I do understand. And going into our turn, do we draw land? We don't draw a land. That is quite unfortunate. I think we literally just have to pass to our opponent's turn. That's kind of rough. Oh well. Next time, we'll hopefully draw land. We have tons of land in the deck, so there shouldn't be any reason that we won't draw one sooner rather than later. Black and a green, he is going to Golgari Charm. Destroy target enchantment, which Eidolon is an enchantment creature. So he's going to take 2 damage from doing that. We're obviously not responding, and we will just shift on over to our opponent's, or through our opponent's turn. We're not actually going to stop for anything. Another Wall of Roots. I guess that's lots of extra mana for him. He can create a bunch of mana from us. We might actually be able to hardcast some of these creatures that have been giving us a hard time, which is a neat way of doing that, actually. I'd actually say that's actually relatively smart. There we go, Bloodstained Mire. So our 2 options are Temple Bell, which will get ourselves up and running, or we can get Master of Feasts out and start giving our opponent the enjoyment of a 5/5 flyer. Okay, so let's crack this guy. We're going to grab a mountain with it. No point in spending extra life when we don't need to. And we will play ourselves a Master of the Feasts, just to make it so our opponent has to deal with us a little bit more than he may want to. And yeah, pass the turn. And we will probably just skip through his turn quite quickly, because I don't have anything to do on his turn. Or her turn. I also should change this picture. I realize I should really change this picture. It's been the original, not fancy one since I started playing. And it is back to our turn. Our opponent draws a card, filling his hand up, which is relatively, at this point, relatively inconsequential. Doesn't make much difference to us at this time. What do I think? I think we're going to go to combat. I'm going to swing in with the Master of Feasts. And then after that, I think we're going to probably just play Temple Bell and say go. I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. So our opponent has no blocks. Temple Bell, black-red, and I guess another red. And then ship it to our opponent's turn. We'll see what they have in store. What do they got? Maybe... Ooh. Something that has blue in it. Please tell me it is a blue spell. I really, really want it. It's probably a Court of Calling, actually. I was hoping it would be a blue spell, but I'm willing to bet money it is a Court of Calling right now. And it is a Court of Calling for 5. I wish Court of Calling was a blue spell as well. Then I would have just got a response to it. Oh well. It's okay. It's okay. We'll see what he brings out. It may be a Tarka again, which it is not. It's Bloodline Keeper. So it's flying, tap, create a token, act as only player if you control. Okay. That is how I read that card. And what is our opponent doing? He is going to create another vampire, a flying vampire, which is actually going to slow down our Master of the Feasts. But I don't think it's going to slow us down that much. We have a couple turn clock on our opponent, because we can probably Rune Flare trap him reasonably soon. And we can definitely... Well, we need more artifacts to Molten Psyche. But we also have Toil and Trouble. I keep just waiting for our opponent to cast like hard casts a Tarka, so we can totally guttural response it. This does suck, I will say right now, having double. Oh, there we go. Hey, buddy. Here, let me play this for you. Cast instant sorceries. Counter target blue. Oh, blue instant spell. Blue instant spell. There you go. That is me being like, what is going on? And that is... Has he played this for choose a player? No, he hasn't. Why don't you draw an extra card? I want to burn your face. And Eldritch Evolution on what? Oh, he did it on the Vampire. So we can get a Wormcoil Engine. That is no fun for us. So okay, so Guttural Response was a terrible card to add to this deck. I'm going to straight out say that right now. Okay, Temple Bell. Let's grab ourselves an Eidolon. And did our opponent draw 3 cards this turn? He did not. Okay, so we got Eidolon and Wormcoil Engine. Ugh. That's no good. No good at all. And a Swamp. I could Eidolon. I could Trouble and Eidolon, which would be 5 damage to our opponent. He does have a Flyer, which he can totally deal with us with. We could also Trouble ourselves and draw 2 cards. But then we'd only have 2 floating mana. You know what we're going to do? We're going to toil our opponent. We're going to go like this. We're going to toil our opponent for... So he's going to draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, putting him at 7 cards. So I think what we're going to also do is we're going to Temple Bell, and then we're going to Rune Flare trap him, I think. So he's just trying to dump his hand, I think, at this point. We'll see. We'll see what he does. Yeah, so we're going to... The plan is, while our opponent's doing all this stuff, is we're toiling and troubling him, then we're going to Temple Bell him to give him an extra card, and then we're going to Rune Flare trap him. So that should bring him down quite low, I think. I think he's Court of Calling is what he's actually doing right now. Yeah, Court of Calling for 3. And what is he Court of Calling for? Because next turn, Kitchen Finks. Oh, neat. Okay, well, I'm going to gain him a couple life. So, yeah, Toil and Trouble, draws 2 cards, loses 2 life, draw another card. He does a Mountain. That'd be really cool if it was a Rune Flare Trap as well. But it's not. But we will Rune Flare Trap right now. Choose a player, our opponent, blow him up for 1. And I don't have... Oops, cancel. I don't have... anything else I can do. So I can swing in and kill his Vampire. Yeah, might as well go to combat. And we'll swing in with Master. He's at 4, so we would need 2 bolts, which is not ideal. And he's gonna swing in with the Wormcoil Engine and gain some life, so that's a thing as well. So we might... I don't know, we're kind of on the rocks on this one. If we did have extra artifacts, it would be a different story, but we don't. So that's also a problem. We could have Eidoloned, but he's not really playing. He's playing a stuff with a ton of converted mana cost. Eidolon might actually be worth it to pull out of this deck, actually. And the more I keep seeing all of the, like, dual lands, maybe it actually would be worth to, like, probably pull out both Guttural Responses and put in the 2 Crumble to Dusts. Probably going to be a better bet. And the fact that now I'm seeing a ton of, like, low-cost stuff. Yeah. Nice. That's a fun little combo. Kitchen Finks into Eldritch Evolution. Gain some life. That's neat. So, yeah. Okay, so when we're going to go to sideboard, we have a rough plan that we're going to do. Thragtusk. That's funny, our opponent run all the stuff that gains life. And this is going to hurt our face quite bad right now. So our opponent's back up to 17. We need some seriously good draws in order for this to turn out now. Dragonskull Summit is not one of those draws. Temple Bell, I guess. We need a card. Give me a card. I need a card. Molten Psyche is not going to do it. Not even a little bit. We might as well play Eidolon. Eidolon. I keep going Eidolon. Oh, no, I guess Eidolon's potentially correct. Oh, you know what? I should not have done that. I should have actually just cycled my hand. I should not have played Eidolon. I should have actually cycled Molten Psyche, cycled my hand, and hopefully drawn to something to stop my opponent. But I didn't. I didn't do that. If we survive one more round, we may do that next turn, actually. Bad play on my part, but it happens. It is part of the game, making bad plays every so often. What do? We swing in. So he's gonna, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have to keep him. I cannot swing in. If I would have Molten Psyche and drawn into 2 Rune Flare traps, it would have been such a different game. Let's open this up. I forgot to do that. Gonna be our opponent's turn. What is going to happen? So he keeps eating stuff with Scavenging Ooze, which is totally reasonable. I would understand. I would do that as well. And we're just gonna skip until he plays something, and I think he's actually gonna get us right away here. Guttural Response. I thought you were gonna be like the ringer for this deck, for this, but apparently is not. And yeah, that doesn't stop that either. Well, now I think this is gonna be us going to the next game. I probably could concede right now, actually, but we'll give our opponent the satisfaction of winning with, winning himself a victory. May as well go here. Oh, gotta go to blocks first. So, yeah, might as well Scavenging Ooze. He'll just obviously eat something to make Scavenging Ooze bigger. Is there even any creatures? I guess anything gets counters on him. And I'm at 1 life. So let's see. Do I draw something that will potentially swing the situation for my favor? I think the answer is probably going to be no. So what do I think? If I Molten Psyche, I die. If I Toil and Trouble, I die. So that is us conceding the game. Let's go and fix our deck. Guttural Response was a really bad choice. As I said, Guttural Response, you're coming back out. You're not worth it at all. Crumble to Dust, on the other hand, you are not actually that bad. And now that we keep seeing all these small little things, I think I'm going to also pull out Eidolon. I don't think you are worth it right now. Anger, you can come back in. And both of the Eidolons can come out. And Shrapnel Blast, is it worth to bring out Shrapnel Blast? It may be worth to bring Shrapnel Blast in. You're going to just exile graveyards, destroy artifacts, and deal a bunch of damage as well. You actually are not a bad option either. So many good options. We're bringing Crumble to Dust because decks that rely on heavy different manas, lots of different types of manas, tend to give us a little bit of problem sometimes, and Crumble to Dust is kind of the best response for us. We're going to pull out one of you, and Doomblade can stay in. We're going to bring out a second one of these guys. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. We are going to play first, definitely, and what do we have for our opening hand? We have a 4-land hand, a Howling Mine, and a Rakdos Charm. I think we're going to keep this. This is not a bad opening hand. At least not for us, that's for sure. And we're just going to go with the standard Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn, into our opponent's turn. End of their turn, we will crack it and grab ourselves a Bloodstained... Not a Bloodstained Mire, we'll grab a Blood Crypt. And... pop. Blood Crypt. No, not paying life. I'm not a chump like that. And then it's our turn again. And we draw our last Blood Crypt. So it looks like we're gonna pay 2 life. Actually, we may as well hedge our bet against. Yeah, we're gonna hedge our bets against our deck. So basically, make it so we're not gonna draw as much land anymore. And we're gonna throw down like a fight. But throw down Howling Mine right away here. And pass it to our opponent's turn. We will see if they have any response. By I say response, I say they're like do something or die, but that's really not the case. I just want to see if they have a response. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of saying words, I feel like, when I say see if they have a response. Our opponent plays a Wall of Roots. So there's his mana ramping coming in right away. And we will go to our turn, I guess. Yes, it is our turn. And we have a Temple Bell, which is super rad. And what else do we draw? We draw a Lightning Bolt. So, unfortunately, we're going to pay 2 life. We're taking a lot of damage here, and we are going to Temple Bell it up right away, and then pass it to our opponent. He's going to draw some cards, and if we draw into Lecrette's stuff, which we will be drawing more cards per turn now, we might be able to fire off turn 5, turn 6, some seriously lethal damage, unless our opponent can get something special happening. Our opponent plays a second Wall of Roots and a Breeding Pool. And it is going to be going to the end step, which means we will Temple Bell, draw some cards. We draw a Swamp, which is nice because I don't want to have to keep paying a whole bunch of life to get Blood Crypts into play. And going to our upkeep, we draw another Temple Bell and another Swamp. May as well play that Swamp. We could What do I think? We could play either Hangarback Walker and leave up Rakdos Charm, which is possible because he may Eldritch Evolution next turn. Double hang. I'm gonna bell. We're gonna play another bell, and we will leave up open, and we're gonna probably bolt our opponent's face at the other turn if they don't do anything else overly special. And he probably at this point knows that we don't have any Rune Flare traps, otherwise we would have fired them off by now. What is our opponent doing? He is playing probably Chord of Calling. Yeah, Chord of Calling for 3. I could potentially blow away this wall of roots right away. Oh, Kitchen Finks. You saucy W. I think his growth plan is 2s to 4s to 6s. Not 3s to 5s. We'll kind of just let him have his Kitchen Finks for now. Because, I mean, if we let his board grow as well, we can always Rakdos Charm to deal 1 damage, each creature dealing 1 damage, which would probably be a little bit more devastating for him than for us. Yeah, so there goes the Kitchen Finks again. Come back, he's going to get another 2 life, which is fine. It's kind of what it does. And he is going to, I guess he is doing 3 to 5s. And it's going to be a Thragtusk. Yeah, that's neat. I kind of want to kill off his Thragtusk, to be honest. If we Thragtusk, it's going to be a 3/3 green beast. I feel like we should use this bolt. Let's see what we draw first. We draw a Rune Flare Trap, and we draw a Doomblade. So we could definitely kill some stuff off. Yeah, I think we need to, unfortunately, focus on our board state just a little bit. Thragtusk being probably the biggest threat to us at the current time. And yeah, I know he gets a beast. And fingers crossed, we draw some good stuff. We drew a Molten Psyche. We could Blood Crypt for 2 damage to ourselves. Rune Fire Trap, or Temple Bell. How much damage is that going to be? So, Rune Flare, so 7, 8, 9, 9. We're going to see if we can do it. I think it's going to be really, really close. But we're going to try for it. So, yes, play that untapped. Temple Bell, and I just realized that I can't Rune Flare Trap for 1, can I? No, because our opponent didn't draw 3 cards. Ugh, but I can Molten Psyche, so that's Molten Psyche, and hopefully we'll draw into another Rune Flare Trap. That'd be good. So our opponent's obviously dumping something out of his hand. You know, we'll save him a little bit of life. It looks like he's going to Chord of Calling, probably for another Thragtusk, I'm guessing, which is not a terrible idea. Counter target, sorcery spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, well, let's go this way then. So he's going to counter our Molten Psyche, unfortunately, which is sad bananas for us. But I think we're going to Pyroplasm, just to wipe 3 of these creatures off the board. So hopefully that'll slow him down a small amount. So he's tapping all of his stuff for what? Chord of Calling for 1. What does he have for 1 that he can Chord of Calling for? Oh, Birds of Paradise. I should have guessed that. Which is fine. It's fine. Because the Birds of Paradise dies, and he wastes a card, which is okay by me. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pitch 2 cards right now. And I don't think that's actually going to be that hard to do. Pitch a Blood Crypt, and we're going to pitch also a Bell. Okay, it's our opponent's turn. We don't have anything to do on our opponent's turn. We are out of cards. So let's see what they do. And our opponent plays a Creekwood Creeklurg Liege, which gives all of its creatures +1/+1, or black creatures +1, green creatures +1/+1. Toil and Trouble, and Ghost Quarter. Oops. It's fine. We play a Ghost Quarter, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana right now, which means we could... what? We could Doomblade this guy. We can also Doomblade on his turn, which is probably not a terrible idea, because we will Rune Flare Trap, blow this guy out of the water. This guy doesn't have lifelink or anything, does he? No, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a 1/1 black-green worm token. That's funny. I say funny, but it's not really that funny, to be honest. Okay. Ugh, what do I think? Yeah, let's go to our opponent's turn and step it up. I'm gonna have to discard a card, which can be can be a Blood Crypt. I think it's fine to discard that guy. Beginning of upkeep, stack, that goes off. So he's going to get that one no matter what. Let's draw 2 cards. Let's see what I get. Maybe I'll get a couple lightning bolts. That'd be rad. I do get a lightning bolt. So we're going to bolt this guy. So lightning bolt here, pay 1. Almost forgot to do that. Doomblade here. And then go to their draw step. Yeah, they're going to get a little 1/1, which is fine. I'm not going to die right away by 1/1s, and then we will Ruin Flare Trap for 1. Our opponent has 10 cards in hand at this point, so that's 10 damage. Which is a healthy amount of damage if you ask me, but not quite enough to kill him yet. It's going to get there very quick though, so, and I'm sure our opponent knows that. Let's open up these graveyards. I keep forgetting to do that. I need to just start opening these graveyards for you guys. Then we will go to our opponent's, we'll let our opponent play their turn out. Now that they don't have anything that they can, well, I guess they could technically Court of Calling for 3? Green, 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 and X, so he could have Court of Calling for 3 still, which is not bad. Assuming he has a Court of Calling in his hand. He's played 2 of them already, so goes to combat. He can't swing because his worm still has Summoning Sickness. And it is going to our turn. Our opponent has to discard 3 cards. Discarding so many cards. And it is our turn. What do we draw? So we get a Master Feasts from the... Ooh, excellent. Another Ruin Flare Trap. So we play our Dragonskull Summit. And we could... I think we can actually kill our opponent this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, no, we can't. Oh, yeah, we can kill him at the beginning of the next turn. So we're going to cast Trouble on our opponent. 1, 2, and 3. Our opponent's going to take damage equal to the number of cards in their hand, which is 7. But he might counter it. He has that weird counter spell for sorceries. Or he might... something else? I don't know. He might play something else. Okay, yeah. Regenerate each creature you control and counter target sorcery spell, I think? Maybe you return a permanent to its owner's hand? And exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Say goodbye to your lovely graveyard! Snapcaster Mage, you don't do anything. Good thing I put in Rakdos Charms! Haha! You're welcome! That's gotta feel not very nice for our opponent, to be honest. Unfortunately, that's not gonna kill him next turn, but we're not gonna die either, so that is okay. We will go to our opponent's turn. Oh, burn. How I love you. Draw phase. He draws from that. He draws from this. He draws from this. And this. And... Ruin Flare Trap? Oh, I guess we can let him draw from the Howling Mine as well. Trap. Cast. You go. Here you go. Take 9 damage, putting you at 2. We'll see what next turn plays out because I have a Lightning Bolt in my hand and I can probably just off you at the beginning of my turn. But you put up you put up a solid fight, my friend. Not solid enough, I will say. And what does our opponent do? We are not going to do... He plays the Bird's Paradise. We're not going to do anything in response. He can probably swing in for 3 damage, which isn't enough to kill us. Definitely enough to... Well, it's not enough to do anything, actually. It's enough to be a mild nuisance. Begin combat. I'm assuming our opponent's attacking with everything. Yeah. You can get your 3 damage in. I don't have anything to say about it. No blocks, because I don't have any creatures to block with. And what do we think? What do we think? We are on the wire. We are getting into red. Our opponent is in the red for time, and we are about to in 4 seconds as well. So, we are on the clock here. Scavenging Ooze. I don't think I have any creatures in my graveyard. So I don't think that's, I don't have any creatures in my graveyard. So that's not going to help you out that much, my friend. And our opponent cracks his land. He is at 1 life. Unless he has some trick in the bag, he is about to die. Horrible, horrible death. Oh, Golgari, Lord of Luxury. Oh my. What is he grabbing from us? What could it possibly be? And at this point, he's tapped out, so I'm not sure what he... Well, no, yeah, he's tapped out. He can't even cast it. Okay, well, let's see if indeed our opponent has any response. We draw Dragonskull Summit. So let's play our Dragonskull Summit, and we will just show him a Lightning Bolt and see if he has anything to say about it. Either we win the game right now, or he has a response. He doesn't! That is the end of this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this match. It was very good. This was a good match. I love it when matches run long like this, but that is my own personal opinion. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Adrian, this is Giant Monster Games, and don't forget to game like a giant monster!